And we are back with another predictions video after another week of exhilarating Champions League football dominated by the big two names of the modern era, Ronaldo and Messi. Ronaldo not wanting to be outstaged by his great rival, scoring that last minute winner for Manchester United this week. But we're not here for Champions League, we are here for Premier League action, which returns for 2 days this weekend, just Saturday and Sunday, before we head off to the second international break of the season. That means there will be no predictions video next week. Let's get into my predictions for last week, and here they are. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. As you can see, these are my predictions, and these were the results. And immediately, you'll be able to see that I've not done particularly well. Hence why I'm launching a new feature of these predictions videos, which I'm calling the Totally Legit Excuses, where I try and break down all the reasons why I got these predictions wrong. Starting with Man City and Chelsea, who I have to say, twofold. I was a bit disappointed in Chelsea for not turning up. I have them as my league winners in my season's prediction, link down below for that video. And Man City turned up and put in probably the best performance of any team so far this season. But yeah, that's why I see City winning that game. United and Aston Villa, I said in my predictions last week that it would not surprise me if Aston Villa won this game. But I had my reasons for backing for Manchester United, and those reasons will become apparent again when we get to this week's prediction. Everton winning 2-0 rather than 3-0. We take the point for that. West Ham and Leeds, I was 2 minutes away from getting 1 point for that game before Antonio scored a 92nd minute winner. That's unfortunate, but Leeds games are always so hard to call. Burnley putting in a fantastic performance against Leicester and almost winning the game if it wasn't for an offside goal ruled out by VAR. Leicester really need to start pulling their act together. Defeated as well in the Europa League last night. They're in a spot of bother. Watford and Newcastle. Newcastle really should have won this game. Plenty of chances that they squandered. And I think Watford were lucky to come away with the point. So, bad prediction from me on that one. I do keep underestimating Brentford. I know I keep saying they're going to struggle, but their physicality was enough to cause Liverpool problems. Yes, they still conceded 3, but to score 3 goals against Liverpool in any game is a hell of an achievement. So fair play to Brentford for getting that 3-3 draw. I spoke about my fantasy football when it comes to Southampton picking Livramento after 2 clean sheets in games where you'd expect Southampton to concede. It was inevitable that the moment I put him in, they would concede, and they did. Wolves came away with the 1-0 win. So that sucks, but yeah, it was just inevitable. Arsenal and Tottenham, one of the best individual team performances so far this season from Arsenal to beat Spurs. Spurs really look in trouble in the Premier League at the moment after such a good start that they made. I feel a little unlucky to only get the 1 point for that one, but 3-1, 2-1, that's the way it goes. And as we all know, I cannot predict a Brighton score correctly. And in fact, even though I was only 1 goal away from getting the correct prediction there, that was a 95th minute equaliser, which means that I was never going to get it. It should have been 1-0 Palace. They threw that one away. And there's no points there as well. So if you know the scores and how it works, you'll realise that I've only managed to get 2 points for the week out of a possible 30, which means we have a season score of 31. Let me know down in the comments how you did. I don't think many people would have got many more points than 2. I think there were a fair few upsets this week. But again, let me know how you got on. Moving on to this week's predictions. And we start with Manchester United at 12:30 for the second week running. Now, I mentioned I would bring up the reason why I backed Manchester United to win last week, and it's the same reason I'm going to back Manchester United to win this week, and that is with the greatest respect to Everton, but I cannot back against my team to not win at home against a team that on paper is not as good as them. So I am going to go for 2-1 Manchester United. And I think the biggest problem that we have now is that the team is just playing in moments. We were well beaten by Aston Villa, and 1-0 was flattering on United, in my opinion. We were very, very, very lucky to come away with the win against Villarreal. Villarreal should have scored plenty more than the one they scored, and a moment of brilliance from Bruno and Telles and a last-minute winner from Ronaldo does not justify us winning this game. We did beat Everton 4-0 in pre-season, and if we have enough moments, we should get the win. But yeah, 2-1 United, but again, would not be surprised to see Everton come away with a result there, as Aston Villa did last week. Burnley and Norwich, the first of the 3 o'clock games. I mean, Norwich are in desperate need of results, or they're going to find themselves relegated even quicker than Sheffield United were last season. I don't see it coming this week. I think Burnley showed their quality against Leicester last week, and I think they're going to continue to do so this week. I'm going to go for 2-0 Burnley, but it is an opportunity for Norwich to get something, but I don't see it this week. Chelsea and Southampton. Chelsea now in need of a result as well after back-to-back defeats against Man City and Juventus without scoring a goal. Southampton, as we know, have been much better defensively this season. I can see this being a struggle for Chelsea, but I can still see them getting the job done, and I'm going to go for 2-0 to them. Leeds and Watford, as we've just said, it's so hard to predict Leeds games. They are so entertaining to watch, but it's just so open, and I can see both sides scoring again. It really is a roll of the dice as to how many goals each team is going to score when it comes to Leeds. I'm going to back Leeds to get the win, though, and I'm going to go for 2-1. Wolves and Newcastle is another interesting one. Two teams that seem to be flip-flopping in their form. Wolves put in good performances against the likes of Southampton and then lose comfortably to Brentford. It's just, they're very inconsistent, and Newcastle are creating chance after chance after chance in their most recent games but can't seem to find the net. I'm going to go with how last week's results played out when it comes to this prediction, and I'm going to go for 2-1 to Wolves there. We come to my favourite team once again in Brighton, and since I can't ever predict the Brighton result, I'm going to go for a result that I again believe is the most likely, and that is to be a draw. I think Arsenal are going to be full of confidence after their Spurs win. The team played brilliantly, but Brighton are very resolute at the back. They're going to be a lot harder to break down than Spurs were. They're not going to allow the counter-attacks that Spurs did. And I do see Brighton scoring, so I am going to go for 1-1 in that one. Crystal Palace and Leicester is an interesting one because Crystal Palace playing really well under Patrick Vieira. Up until that 95th minute goal by Neil Maupay, they hadn't actually conceded at home so far this season. And Leicester are still in desperate need of results. I can see Leicester creating a lot of chances against Crystal Palace, but I can see Crystal Palace grabbing some goals as well. So this is actually going to be my 2-2 prediction for this week. But again, a very, very tough game to call. Tottenham and Aston Villa, I believe, is going to go to form. Now, Tottenham did get a very big win last night. However, it was against the Slovenian team, which I'll be honest, with the greatest respect to, I think it was Metz or Men's or something. I'd never even heard of them before last night's game. Harry Kane getting a hat-trick will be good for his confidence, but I think Aston Villa, if they play the way they played against Everton, the way they played against Manchester United, and if Tottenham are going to be as stagnant as they were against Arsenal, I can see Aston Villa coming away with the win and really squeezing the pressure on Nuno Espirito Santo. I'm going to go for 2-1 Aston Villa. Bit controversial, but I can really see that happening. West Ham and Brentford, again, I'm going to underestimate Brentford again. I think West Ham are playing some really, really good football. Brentford rely on their physicality to get the results they've got so far this season, and I think West Ham are kind of like a level up on Brentford. They're both physical teams with creative players, and I just think West Ham have the better players. than Brentford. So with that in mind, I'm going to go for a 3-1 West Ham win. And finally, the main event of the weekend, we have Liverpool against Manchester City. And again, I'm going to go with form. Manchester City put in that phenomenal performance against Chelsea last week, but then backed it up with a really poor display against PSG. Meanwhile, Liverpool, despite conceding those 3 goals against Brentford, were still causing loads and loads of problems at the other end. 3 goals for themselves and then 5 goals away in the Champions League this week. They are the current top of the league team, and I'm going to back them to do the job here. I'm going to go for 3-1 to Liverpool. But again, it's a tough prediction. It's really hard. If Man City turn up, they may be too much, but I just think right now Liverpool are going to have the momentum to get that job done against Manchester City. And that is it for this week's video. Leave a like if you are enjoying the series. Let me know down in the comments what your predictions are for this week and how you got on last week. Subscribe if you're new around here. Share this video with a friend if you want to get their predictions. And we will be back after the international break. Thank you very much for watching. See you soon.